The mastermind of a fake designer clothing scam, who committed one of the UK's biggest tax frauds, has been jailed in his absence. Arif Patel and his gang tried to steal £97 million through VAT repayment claims on false exports of textiles and phones. He also sold counterfeit clothes that would have been worth £50 million if genuine. Mr. Patel, 55, who is originally from Preston and is now thought to be on the run in Dubai, was sentenced at Chester Crown Court to 20 years. His Majesty Revenue and Customs said the fraud was uncovered after a joint investigation involving Customs and Lancashire Police over more than 10 years. It unravelled when dozens of containers full of fake designer clothing were stopped at the UK ports, including Liverpool, Southampton and Felixstowe. Onward distribution to the UK traders was confirmed when police intercepted a delivery to a Glasgow wholesaler. Mr. Patel was found guilty after a 14-week trial for a range of offences including false accounting, conspiracy to cheat the public revenue, conspiracy to sell bogus goods and money laundering. Court heard that he used the proceeds of the fraud to buy property across Preston and London through offshore bank accounts. The HMRC saying Mr. Patel's Preston-based company, Faisal Text Limited, was at the heart of his criminal dealings. He turned to the bulk imports of counterfeit clothing in 2004, as well as fraudulent VAT repayment claims on supposed high-value goods and yarns. The co-accused, Mohammed Jaffer Ali, 58, of Dubai, was jailed for 14 years in his absence, having been found guilty of 3 counts of conspiracy to commit fraud by failing to disclose information under the Fraud Act of 2006. Mr. Ali also laundered the proceeds through his bank accounts, which he set up in Dubai and offshore, HMRC said. Like Mr. Patel, he is also wanted by the police. Following the sentencing, Andrew Fox, senior prosecutor for the Crown Prosecution Service, said the sentencing of Arif Patel and Mohammed Jaffer Ali successfully conclude this part of an immense investigative and prosecution case against an organised criminal group involving counterfeit clothing, fraudulent VAT claims and money laundering. The cost of this to the public purse was tens of millions, money that could have been used for essential public services in the NHS, social care and education. The CPS will now pursue a confiscation proceedings against the defendants to prevent them enjoying the benefits of their criminal enterprise. Thomas Maher, 42, was arrested in 2019, but never charged when 39 Vietnamese people were found dead in a truck in Essex after a botched people smuggling operation. An Irishman convicted of his role in the international drug smuggling conspiracy has been ordered to pay almost £630,000 to Britain's National Crime Agency. Thomas Maher, 42, was convicted in 2020 in the UK of transporting drugs to Ireland and smuggling money linked to the drugs trade. A haulier originally from Clara, Côte d'Opale, Mr. Maher was also arrested, but never charged in 2019 when 39 Vietnamese people were found dead in the back of a truck in Essex in a people smuggling operation involving a number of other Irishmen. Mr. Maher, now of Wiltshire Close, Warrington, has been ordered by a judge at Liverpool Crown Court to pay £629,159. The NCA said the confiscation order includes his house in Warrington, cars, lorries, jewellery, and a number of high-value watches, artwork and gold ingots bought in Dubai. He must pay the money within 6 months or face an extra 6 years in prison, added to the 14 years 8 months he is already serving. The truck that was used to smuggle the Vietnamese people into the UK in 2019 was once owned by Mr. Maher and remained in his wife's name after it was sold. However, while Mr. Maher was arrested as part of the inquiry into the deaths of the 39 victims, he was never charged and no further action was directed against him in that case. The NCA investigation then found that he lived a luxurious lifestyle despite claiming to earn less than the minimum wage. The NCA put Mr. Maher under surveillance for 7 months, including witnessing him meeting criminal associates in the UK to organise cocaine trafficking from the Netherlands to Ireland and the UK. After the confiscation order granted by the court in Liverpool on Monday, the NCA's head of the asset denial, Rob Burgess, described Mr. Maher as a career criminal who was trusted by some of Europe's biggest crime groups, to move their drugs and money. The confiscation order will ensure money he made will be returned to the public purse to fund further efforts to protect the public from organised crime, he added. Mr. Maher was sentenced by Liverpool Crown Court to 14 years and 8 months in December 2020, after he pleaded guilty to 4 counts of conspiracy to commit crime abroad at an earlier hearing. The court heard that between March and May 2020, he played a role in conspiracies to transport a total of around £1.5 million of cocaine from the Netherlands to Ireland via the UK, and to launder about £1 million cash between Ireland and the Netherlands. The father of 3 used encrypted phone network EncroChat, which was accessed in 2020 by law enforcement agencies across Europe to plan the transportation, the court heard. Catherine Rabioti, prosecuting in 2020, said Mr. Maher was arrested at his home on June the 13th that year. That same day, EncroChat issued an alert telling its users it had been compromised. Neither of the 2 EncroChat devices linked to him were recovered, the court heard. Ms. Rabioti said the messages showed him acting as a go-between and a logistics manager. Passwords, times, details of stops and prices were passed through the defendant, acting as a middleman for the parties, she said. The NCA officers seized vehicles including a high-end Range Rover, Land Rover Discovery and an imported Corvette worth £70,000 following his arrest. He spent thousands on holidays to Dubai, Mexico and New York, and while in Dubai brought artwork and a map of the world made in bullets. During the 2020 court process, a count of conspiracy to commit fraud crime abroad, that of conspiracy to cause grievous bodily harm to Rowan Hughes in Ireland between April the 21st and April the 29th, 2020, was ordered to lie on file after Mr. Maher pleaded not guilty. Mr. Hughes from Co-Agma in Northern Ireland pleaded guilty at the Old Bailey in August in 2020 to 39 counts of manslaughter following the deaths of the Vietnamese migrants in 2019. A major cash haul will be seized from an organised crime group who swamped Bournemouth with cocaine worth millions. The court orders have been secured to recover more than £150,000 from 6 men who were jailed last year for a total of almost 40 years after an 18-month investigation. 3 men from Bournemouth were amongst the gang given jail time. Endri Kosteni, who is 31, was jailed for 10 years. Ardit Zani, 31, for 8 years, while Lawan Najim, who was 27, was sentenced to 6 years. Andrew Doyle, who was 33 and of Christchurch, was sentenced to 5 years and 5 months behind bars. Argon Bendaj, 55 and of Luton, received a 7-year sentence, and Marjus Nona, who was 25 and of Birmingham, was given 3 years and 4 months. Evidence showed that the gang was picking up kilos of cocaine in London and then selling the drug in smaller quantities in Bournemouth. They were arrested following a day of action on October the 9th, 2020. Gang was jailed and a Proceeds of Crime Act application was launched by Dorset's Police Economic Crime Unit. Between August last year and Friday, May the 19th, all men appeared for a Proceeds of Crime hearing where the financial benefits for their offending and the available amount were ruled. For example, it was ruled that the total benefit figure of Mr. Nora's offending was £243,348.48, with the available amount of £3,759.55. He was required to pay or serve a further prison sentence in default. Mr. Doyle, meanwhile, was ordered to pay an available amount of £103,942.68, the most out of all the members of the gang. The total available figure for all the defendants was £169,764.39. The financial confiscation officer Victoria Johnson of Dorset Police said the investigation resulted in these defendants receiving significant jail terms in February 2022. But our investigated efforts did not stop there. Officers from the economic crime team have been working to compile evidence to secure financial orders against these defendants and assure all available proceeds from their offending are seized. As with all proceeds of crime confiscation orders, the total benefit figures will also not simply go away. These offenders will be subject to reviews in the future and will still be liable to pay the remaining sums if they are found to have acquired further assets. Dorset Police is committed to using legislation available to us under the Proceeds of Crime legislation to ensure that criminals are not able to walk away with the proceeds of their offending behaviour.